Hello and welcome to a quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix, of another furry visual novel. This one being With Both Eyes Closed, a game about, looking it up, Max, Isa, and Cole enter the Montana forest. Is it Oh yeah, I guess it is a state. For a 3-day camping trip, Max struggles to manage Cole and Isa's butting heads, while also taking notice of the bizarre events unfolding around them. Mystery and questions quickly creep in as soon as the seed of doubt is planted. Unable to escape the forest, they must face the monster in head first. That's a typo. But anyways, if you want to play this game, it's available free on HalexUwU, but I don't see a Patreon. I guess it do be like that, and if you want me to play this game, tell me, and I'll give it a point, we should put it up higher on the list. Also, if you want to suggest any other furry visual novels, then tell me, and I'll put it up there. Also, maybe put the audio down just a smidge. Boop. Maybe not that much of a smidge. That seems good. Reset my face. Because you know all that moving around. It do be like that sometimes. Was it both eyes closed? Okay. Is that really what you're wearing? I snapped to consciousness to a searing red in my eye. At first, I'm not really sure what's going on. But I quickly realized that in the time I slept, the sun had moved just enough to beam right into my eye. Left eye, though. Yeah, I hate that. Especially if you're hungover. Terrible. Just want to be night all the time. I roll my head to the right to rest on my shoulder, trying to reject consciousness. I can tell that it won't last long. I'm already feeling prickles of annoyance, but holding onto my half-awake trance is euphoric. The car smells amazing right now. Hamburgers and fast food. It could be that. Is that really what you are wearing? I slouch to the right, expecting the seatbelt to catch me. But, to my surprise, I fall right through. Right, I'm in the back. I'm able to catch myself by jetting out my elbow against the plush seat. Stilting myself up with my forearm. Sometimes they have words here that I'd never read before. One of my compromises we had to make when we decided to bring Isa with us was that one of us was going to have to sit in the back. Man, that's a terrible thing, having to sit in the back all by yourself. Terrible. Since the chairs are down to accommodate all the camping gear, the seat buckle is completely inaccessible. Ooh, that doesn't sound safe. Isa gets the car sick when he's not in front, and Cole doesn't trust anyone else to drive the van. Frankly, I wouldn't trust myself either, even if I could. I don't really mind anyway. I planned to prop myself up against the wall and sleep through most of the drive, regardless of where I was sitting. Speaking of, what time is it? I fished my phone out of my sweater pocket and forced my eyes open just a sliver. I'm glad it turns on. I wasn't sure the battery was gonna last. Just past 2 p.m. That's why you put it on battery saver mode, or, you can turn it off, I guess. Dude, after tolerating Canadian winters, I'd be fine even if it was gonna be cold. Oh, Canadian winters. Actually, I'm not sure if I've been up there in well, maybe. I've seen the Aurora Borealis. Nice. Northern Lights. It's not like I have many other options anyways. It's right that it's question marks even though those are his friends. Or her friends? Not sure who I am. I let the tension in my arm give and slowly slide down until I'm laying on my side. I'm just out of sun here. I considered going back to sleep before deciding to just rest my eyes, fully aware of the game I'm playing. It's not like I need to be awake by a certain time. I just hoped to at least partially preserve my sleep schedule, even with this midday nap. And for some reason my throat's like, hey, why don't we be itchy for some reason? So, you would buy actual pants if we stopped? Heh, no. Cargo pants all the way, baby! I'm awake, just enough to smirk at our response. I can see either of them. Wait, can't see either of them. But I know that Cole is giving her the look. Bedroom eyes. He usually gives it to me when I'm being contrary. It's a sort of smile mixed with side-eye. It's his way of saying, seriously? Sometimes I struggle to figure out what Cole's expressions mean, but I have never failed to understand this one. I don't hear either of them say anything for a moment. Come on, Cole. When have I ever dressed appropriately for an occasion? I didn't even wear the right gown for our graduation. I remember, Isa. The dean almost kicked you out of the building. He was furious. I have a knack for that. God, I always hated teachers in like high school and stuff like that. Oh, you have a little stubble. You have to shave that. We can't have it distracting any of the other students. Texas. Those robes were Gertie. Oh, were Gertie? Always. We spent months fighting to get them placed. You know, the same rags have been used for the past 30 years, right? Is Gertie even a word? Hurdy-gurdy, maybe? I don't know if I'd call you and Stella's, what did you call it? Directed complaining? Fighting. I think it's just annoyed everyone who had to hear it all the time. It was subliminal messaging, and it would have worked if all of our teachers weren't half deaf. Before she finishes speaking, I hear the distant sound of plastic scraping on plastic. This jolts me awake. Hey! Both of them jump a bit, clearly unaware that I'd woken up. You got food without me? I try to decipher the brand from the plastic cup Isa was toying with, but the sun is debilitating. One of the unfortunate side effects of being a nocturnal mammal. So wait. You're a nocturnal mammal, but you were sleeping... Oh wait, maybe they didn't, get up, before dawn, but maybe... Yeah, it do be things. I don't know. I'm able to see the outline of the cup. The inside is glowing, with light barely able to pass through the thin plastic. She has a paw covering the logo, her other paw on the straw. She must have made the scratching sound while adjusting her straw. Max, don't worry, I got you something. I see my bear's silhouettes reach back to me with a bag, holding a bag. I grab it by the corner and pull it on my lap. I forget to double check the brand before diving in, but I have a pretty good picture of what I'm getting into from the smell. It's Four Guys. I'd figured out Cole had gotten me something greasy before I even needed to open the cardboard box. Or cardstock box? Cardstock? I don't know. The sun is still blinding, but I could... Sorry, yawn. See clearly into the bag. It's what happens when I read a visual novel. Don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm not breathing enough. That and I'm also tired from exercising. It's a chicken sandwich. The only kind of meat I'll eat willingly. Now I want to go to... Fuck, what is it called? You know that chicken restaurant... Not restaurant, but fast food place that's actually good. Cane's Chicken. Yeah. I mean, KFC and other stuff are decent, too. Never gonna go to a Chick-fil-A. Like, their food is... I've had their food before and it's not good. And then they're also, homophobic and all that. The patty is round, like a boige, with a lightly toasted golden bun. From the outside, I can see it has all the usual toppings, except for onions. I hate onions. Based on the appearance, I am pretty sure it's from Patsy's, Isa's favorite fast food chain. Apparently, it used to be a high-end restaurant on the East Coast, but now it's basically everywhere. There's one just a few blocks off campus. Cole and I eat there often. I start pulling everything apart in the container, separating the tomato, pickle, and lettuce into neat piles. I hold the chicken patty in my mouth, careful not to let it touch my tongue. Why don't you want to let the... Oh, the chicken patty... Why? The bun lays on the beige, spongy inside directed up toward me, smearing some kind of sauce. Smeared with some kind of sauce. I didn't get a water dish since I wasn't sure how long you were going to sleep for and didn't want to make a mess. Sorry. Water dish? I'll wipe the sauce into a napkin and use the other to soak up the remaining glaze. It's right. I would say more, but I'm preoccupied with shoveling the shredded lettuce into my mouth, losing a few pieces on the way up. Why don't you just get the tenders if you're gonna pull everything apart anyways? They want all the extra stuff. They just don't want to eat it all together. I barely am able to agree, as her mouth is meticulously able to fit both sandwich buns at once. A few crumbs go flying out, propelled by the force of my voice. Girl, you need to slow down. They never ate stuff like that back in Montreal, right? So wait, am I the girl? It seems like Isa is talking to Cole more so than me. Can't blame her, since I'm still gnawing down newly soggy bread. I still force myself to swallow uwu so I can respond before Cole beats me to it. Not that I really mind. They don't have American boigas in Montreal. I also usually didn't have the money to pay for food in Montreal. Clearly. Cole shoots her a glare. At first, I can't tell why, but based on her now guilty expression, I realize what she was referring to. I try to avoid giving it too much thought. It wasn't really her intention. Not that you look bad or just stop talking. I feel a beat of guilt in my throat. It didn't really bother me, so I didn't want to make a point out of it. What is everybody talking about? I thought it was fast food. Maybe Canadians take their fast food seriously. Sorry for a diversion, but it's kind of weird from the people at work that they're really into this show called Letterkenny, which is a Canadian show. I don't know. Like, I watched an episode and was like, huh. The only time I've seen it before is when it was some kind of commercial about, I don't know, car insurance or something. Because of course car insurance would just make stupid fucking commercials. Sorry. I'm used to seeing Isla get told off, but she bounces back fast. She won't take it personally. The conversation stalls for a bit, but I really don't want it to die. Cole will turn up his awful music if we stop talking. Wait, hold on. Isa, you wore the wrong graduation robe on purpose? You told me you mixed it in with the wrong laundry and had to buy a new one. At this point, the only part of the sandwich left is the chicken patty, but I like to save that for last. I reach into the bag and pull out a cup of fries. It's clearly already been picked through by Cole. That was true. Me and Stella tried diners and putting it in with all the blue shirts and jeans. Robes were so old, they practically disintegrated in the machine. It was like pulling out a spool of yarn. It sounds dumb, but either it worked, and we got actually blue robes, or it failed, and we had to excuse buy new ones. So, were the robes white? Because I couldn't, unless they're white, I wouldn't really think color dyeing from one clothes to another would actually do anything. I always wash mine cold and have the dryer run low. Technically, she wasn't lying, though it wasn't really the truth either. Oh, just let me take a look at this thing. Okay. Sorry, some stuff happening with family. Need to keep abreast of it. Nothing I can do, really. Unfortunately. The most baffling part of the story isn't even their half-baked plan. Actually, that's not really surprising at all, considering it's Isa. Is it Isa? In the time I've known her, she's considerably crafted some of the worst thought-out ideas I ever heard. How did that even happen? You were dating Cole at the time, right? I look at Cole through the rearview mirror. His eyes dart away from mine as soon as they meet. I can tell he's far more embarrassed by the story than Isa is. I was totally greening out. I wonder who made this game. It's kind of interesting playing games from people. I would really like to know where, people live, their specific address. No, but like maybe state-wise or country-wise, because sometimes it's like, here's these terms I've never heard. Greening out. Or they might have a certain way of speaking, or talk about certain subjects. Or kind of like, when Deadly Premonition, for one thing. It's a game made by a Japanese guy about the American Midwest? Like North Midwest. Where it's like, here's this dying longing town, and it's like, this is what they see as American culture through Japanese eyes. Which I find fascinating, I always like seeing how other cultures see our culture, because you can tell a lot about yourself. But anyway, sorry for the diatribes. Diatribe? No, that's not the word. Anyways, this happened right after Isa had gotten me in to try smoking. I didn't know my limits. It felt like I was rolling down a mountain while I was laying on the floor. And Isa was so high. I guess greening out means smoking weed. Obviously. I have to wonder if this is just weed or something else. This was when she was close to Stella, apparently. Still close. I come to a sudden realization they have no idea where we are right now. We were stuck in traffic when I fell asleep, and I don't know when we got out. It could be another hour of driving, or just a few more minutes. I poke my head up into the now tolerable sun and peek out the window. Pine trees. Not sure what I expected. The edge of the forest towers over us with great indifference. Their needles choke out the sun, filtering it through thin rays of light that sprawl across the dirt and grass. It reminds me of a forgotten words for this phenomenon, Komowebi, I think it was. Okay, just curious. I never heard of that word before, but I'm kind of interested. Okay, this game's prologue came out in November 1st, 2023. I wonder if the maker of this game, played or heard about Komorebi. I liked Komorebi, but I also was disappointed at it because, kind of like a friend said, they played the game and I could see where the game was going in a way, but then it just kind of... Is the screen getting darker for you? Okay. I guess it is. But the game just kind of petered out, Like, you were playing it, and maybe not petered out, but it was like, here's all these different things, and they just left it to... They didn't expand on it. It was like, here's Panopticon, like, this game's been out for a while, but like, here's this thing, Panopticon, here's this shadowy figure, here's all these little ideas, like, what is it called? Somebody's gun or something like that. They have all these ideas, and then game ends, and it's like, Questions? Also, sorry to, uh, you know, do, like, pick at this game, but these rear view mirrors should be over here, right? I don't know, maybe it's a Canadian thing, eh? As my eyes pour over the pines slipping by, they begin to blend into a sea that drowns out the countryside in green. Sorry. Cole drives on, and the trees encroach it even closer. They creep in until I can hear the low, hanging branches scrape against the car. Oh no. As I cross over into the dim throw of the woods as we cross, the sun's encompassing rays retreat in the sky. I didn't think I would miss them, but I changed my mind as the shadows stretched further, as if seeping through the windows. I watched the last glittering remains of sunlight fade from view as we take a turn. Isa and Cole's banter is the only thing that keeps focus off the jagged pines that silently observe me, now on both sides. Okay, sorry that I keep on reading and then into a topic, but you know how most animals, sunlight wakes them up and darkness makes them go sleepy by? Is it the opposite for nocturnal animals? Like if you turn on a light in a room, they'll be like, time for bed. You know? I spent most of my life in crowded cities. It's taken time to adjust to such a spread out place. And transitioning to this vacant, sweeping forest is even more jarring. Just the thought of that. The nearest person could be even more than 15-minute drive away is alien to me. Besides these two, I guess. I remember Cole raving about how isolated the camping grounds were. How they weren't even official camping grounds. Don't get me wrong, it's undeniably exhilarating. Even I have to admit that the prospect of a true, unaltered camping experience is a gem among rocks. I really want to get some pictures of the mountains. Well, we're going to hike up to the nearest mountain north. You might be able to get some pictures there. I would wait until you get a good starry sky. I'm just barely able to catch a few lines of Isa and Cole chatting. It reminds me of when I've been looking forward to what I've been looking for more than anything, an untainted night sky. Cole told me that at this time of year, our arm of the Milky Way is lined up with Earth. He explained it to me as the night sky being split into, I think I've seen the Milky Way. Sorry, but it was very faint. Like, we were kind of in the middle of nowhere, but also there was this, I was working at sea, so there's still lights, but it's also like, you see a bit of the sky that just seems a bit brighter than the rest. Not like you would see in the photographs of, stuff, but still. I've never really seen stars before. There was one major power outage in Montreal, but even then, I was barely able to make out Orion's belt. The power outage. I can't help thinking about the dark. Back in the city, there were people everywhere, but out here, it's just us. And as excited as I am, the atmosphere here is a bit unsettling. I do my best to hide my knees, which is starting to itch back in. I know that if Cole got the hint that I was uncomfortable, he'd be tearing himself apart the entire trip, trying to make sure I was happy. We've been talking about going camping since we met, and I really want this to go well for him. His dad used to take him every year, but it's been a while since that was possible. He really deserves a win right now. Isa and Cole have continued to chat while I studied the landscape, but I haven't been able to track their conversation. The scratching of branches on the hull of the van is almost deafening. I can tell that it's not nearly as loud as it feels, but it's bad enough that I lose my appetite just as I finish my fries. I can eat the chicken patty later. Are we, gonna stop soon? We're about 15 minutes away. Do you need to go to the bathroom? We can stop. Okay, this guy is definitely not like my dad. Sorry for again one of these things, but like, my dad's the type of person that's like, oh, you need to pee? Yeah, the nearest town's about 20 minutes away. You fine? No, you're not fine? Well, it's 20 minutes away, you can hold it. I can feel the car slow down before I'm able to reply. No, I'm fine, just curious. You sure? I mean, seriously, it's not a... Cole. There's a certain frustration in Isa's tone that catches me off guard. Alright, just checking. Cole accelerates again, causing the scraping to resume. I almost regret telling him to keep driving, but as long as I distract myself, it's non-bearable. I turn myself around on all fours and reach into the mess of bags, boxes, and almost loose items being held in place by sporadically placed bungee cords. I should have headphones somewhere back here. I pull a beat-up cardboard box out from under one of the bands and hold it aside while I dig deeper. If I remember correctly, my box should be... I just on my knees, facing the back, maw deep in luggage. Balancing a box with my paw, like a waiter, the car suddenly lurches upwards. Instinctively, sink my claws of my free hand into the polyester car seat. My hand slams into the roof, head slams into the roof of the car. Sorry. Right, this isn't that other game, Echo. I played that game like all of Jenna's route, like, because I just wanted, how do I do it? Like, I wanted to mainline that, because jumping from one to another without finishing a route is just kind of a pain in the butt. I imagined the subdued thud of my skull hitting the ceiling, but it's overwhelming by the tremors of the vehicle. Exclaim before the pain even sets in. I can tell it's coming. The force of gravity tears my claws along Cole's car seat. Only my middle finger catches, so it could be worse. But I'm definitely gonna feel bad about this for a while. Finally, the box I was holding flies forward and falls behind the farthest stack of luggage. I can hear the rattle of plastic and glass against each other. I really hope I didn't break anything. As I look out the back, I can just barely make out something dark and spindly in the dirt road. Sorry, I think I hit a root. Definitely a root. You're right. Sound like you hit yourself pretty hard. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah. I say that as a dull throbbing ooh pulsates through my head. This is gonna bother me all day, isn't it? I can see Isa struggling to hold back her cackle. I mean, seriously, I can see it. She's writhing in place, like the laugh is only happening on her insides. It was the sound, isn't it? It wasn't it? Half the reason I ask is because I'm worried she's going to burst a blood vessel trying to contain herself. Fucking yes, it was the sound. She's barely able to say that before she starts her familiar half laugh, half cry. I snicker at myself, even though I don't think it's that funny. Actually, it's really starting to hurt now. I can tell I'm gonna get a dreadful headache later. Even Cole is smiling a bit. Dude, you just sounded hollow. She's catching her breath between words, still crowing like she talks while she talks. Honestly, I didn't even hear it. I was too worried about not dropping shit. I completely threw one of the boxes in the back, by the way. It's fine. Just pick it up later. I hadn't realized, but that sound of branches grating against the roof had stopped while Isa was laughing. Don't worry about it. Which box was it? I turn back around to check, and quickly becomes clear that I can't get to where the box fell without rearranging the entire pile. Whichever was on top of my stuff, it was right next to Isa's camera. I try fishing my hand around the back to see if I can catch an open flap or something, but I'm totally fruitless. It's way further than I can get to. Oh, that's all plastic. Should be fine. I turn to face forward again and catch sparking outside the window as I'm moving, sparkling. Between the trunks of fast-moving trees, my eyes fall upon skipping diamonds, reflections of sunlight on a stream cascading through the woods. The water burbles brightly, compared to the apathy of the surrounding trees. Whoa, look at the river. My face is awkwardly pressed against the glass for a better view. We start turning around another corner, but the river chases the bend of the road for a little longer. He unbuckles her seatbelt and climbs halfway into the back with me. We're both staring out the window in awe. I know, beautiful, right? I can hear the smile in his voice. Ooh, I need a picture of this. There we go, we finally get a picture of a character. Would bang. But I think this game also has like more animations than visual novels tend to have. He's practically crawling over me, twisting while trying to get her camera. I scoot out of her way while she fumbles into place. The camera is a pastel pink box with round edges. It's one of the more modern Polaroid cameras, an expensive one at that. Come on. Autosaved, apparently. She's straining to keep herself in place. Her elbows are planted firmly on the seat while she brings the box to her eye. The river is barely in sight by the time she steadies it enough to take the picture. The camera makes that distinct clicking sound I love so much. Ah, I think I missed it. The camera pushes out a black square of paper, rimmed with white and shiny plastic covering. As soon as she removes it from the dispenser, Isa starts violently flapping in the air, which I don't think you're actually supposed to do. You'll have another chance to get a picture on the way back. I mean, we'll probably end up seeing it on a hike or something too. With that, she seems content and moves back to her seat. See, she shurikens the photo into the car's dashboard. I guess that is the word. We keep driving in silence for a few more minutes. I mostly just soak up the environment around me. Our stop is just up here. I can see a small opening just off the road. It really is just some random clearing. Wait, that's it? Yep, like I said, not an official camping ground. Cole slows down as we just pass the opening. We aren't going to, get in trouble for being here, right? We start reversing. Cole's kind of really close to some of the trees next to us. It's making me a little nervous, but I trust he knows what he's doing. Barely anyone comes down this road. Oop, the echo. Sorry. No time for you. Right, this is an echo. Because most of the time I use the scroll wheel, but with echo I have to right click. Barely anyone comes down this road. We'd be lucky to see another car at all. And now it's Bear's boyfriend? He turns halfway around, while reversing the car, and looks right past me. I can feel my ears becoming hot while I sink into my seat. Because he's all mine and wants to bang. I'm sure he knows this because he cracks a subtle smile. Finally. The car slows to a stop, and Isa's out of the car before I even have a chance to move. I slide myself along the seats towards the right side door. With some effort, it slides open and I hop down. My feet reach the solid ground with a dull thud. My land cushioned by the grass and moist dirt. My first instinct is to check the back of the van to measure how close Cole was to reversing into something. The rear of the van was just inches away from a large slanted rock. The trees are no more than half a meter away from the driver's side door. I watch as Cole struggles to open the door, wide enough to let himself squeeze out, eventually able to shut the door behind him. You might want to move the car over about a meter or so. Nah, it's fine. Just a bit tight. Heh, meter. I'm tempted to press him to move it, but there's not really any real reason to. I do roll my eyes at his meters comment, though. Maybe it's a Canadian thing? I don't know. Sorry. We're not really having this discussion right now. I roll back to the right side of the van. Isa's stretching next to a pile of rocks, and I realize it's arranged into a makeshift fire pit. It clearly hasn't been used for a while. My legs have been killing me for the past hour. I don't understand how anyone's able to tolerate driving for that long. She bends over her thigh, reaching down towards her ankle. I can see her spine's impression through her tank top, which is probably a little too small. Hey, respect people with small shirts. People at work are like, oh, one or two guys are like, you need to get bigger shirts. And it's like, why? I like my thinness. Like, it doesn't, like, get all the way thin. Like, it's not skin tight, but still, it's like, hey, I'm not getting baggy shirts. As a kid, I had baggy shirts because I guess my parents would just buy me baggy shirts, but I do not want baggy shirts. I want skin tight shirts. You know, these things do lose their elastic, so maybe I should buy new shirts when I'm getting paid again. She makes it work. Eases nothing if not gorgeous. Man, but we have to be gay not having banging this fox? Sad. Well, it probably wouldn't be too bad if you didn't always sit with your legs folded in. You must be running your hip into the ground. It just stands back up, switching to the other leg. Yeah, maybe, but it's so much more comfortable. My seat was all the way forward, and you know how long my legs are. Uwu? She traces her hand up her leg when she stands back up. She takes almost every opportunity to do this. The first few times, it was endearing. Then it became annoying. But now, somehow, it's endearing again. It's kind of like that thing where at first it's funny, then it stops being funny, then it gets real funny. Sorry, all of a sudden that look right there made me think of, Haps, or like the Adastran artwork, you know? It was better than the plane ride here, at least. You know, you could have asked to move your seat back. It's not an issue. It was not an issue. I was sitting behind Cole anyways. What was the time? Okay, we're good. Dude, when you fell asleep, you were on my side, and by the time you're awake, I was already comfortable. As comfortable as I can be in the car, anyway. I considered telling her to wake me up next time, but decided I'd rather not give permission to wake me up whenever she wants. Sorry, I was hearing a noise like, is that in game? So the plane was bad then? The plane was bad then? I feel like usually you'd have more to say than just that. Trust me, I do. But it's really nothing I haven't said before. Cold as hell, cramped as hell, and the dude next to me stank like hell. I guess it'd be worse if you're like an animal because, animals smell more and they can smell more. Like a musty kind of BO or a BO stink. Like I haven't brushed my teeth in about a week kind of stink. Ugh. Like the guy next to us, uh, like the guy next to us in Intro to History, I still can't get over that dude. Uwu. I could see the cavities in his teeth. Uwu. I do hope he's gotten help for that though. No, not as bad as that, but I was breathing through my mouth the entire flight. Alright, ready to start setting up? Cole swings his keys around his pointing finger. The number of times I've seen them go flying off into a bush, and he's still doing that. I don't think telling him to stop is going to help much anymore. Just as long as I don't have to lift anything heavy. I second that. But I don't really mean it. I wasn't counting on it. Isa leads as... Sorry, I'm trying to read, but sometimes it can be hard. I also did come back from the gym recently. Isa leads wrap as we wrap around the van and notice her shoes sinking into the dirt. Isa's more than capable of running in heels, but that doesn't mean she won't complain about it. Wait, she's wearing heels out here? What's the deal with sandals with heels anyway? Oh, okay. Isn't the whole point of sandals in the name to function in sand? Heels kinda defeat the purpose. Style points, I guess. Cole unlocks the back doors of the van and swings them open. The left door catching on the slanted rock and makes an awful scraping sound, leaving a blunt mark on the stone. As it happens, it's not the only one. The rock has clearly seen its fair share of abuse. Cole winces and raises his brow at him. You sure don't want to move the van forward? He doesn't respond. Swing it open any harder, and he won't even need much of a match to start a fire. Isa snickers to me. He ignores and moves. Oh, Isa's him. Okay, I think he's him. Moves to undo the tangled web of bungee cords holding down all our backpacks, covered cardboard boxes, and camouflage green bins. I'm surprised nothing falls out with how cluttered the inside of the van is. Most of it here is specifically for camping, but I can tell some of it's been back here for a very long time. There are marks on the floor mats from where things have been moved around to accommodate the extra luggage. At the very bottom lies a long, textured black box. It has what looks like heavy-duty buckles. Cole has a bungee cords undone by the time I'm done trying to guess what's in the black box. What's in the box? Remember that? God, how long ago was that? I decided it's a toolbox. Okay, Cole is him. Oh wait, is Cole him? Most of this was my dad's camping stuff, so I'm not entirely sure what's all in here. The tent is the most important thing, so I'll get started on that if you two want to get the chairs up. Whatever we don't need right away, we can leave in the van. He hands me a folding chair and passes Isa a rolled-up tarp. I'm about to ask where to put them, but Isa is already walking, so naturally I just follow her. He flicks open the tarp in all three board-flipping motions and lets it fall to the ground, about a meter from the dilapidated fire pit. Clearing itself isn't that big. The van takes up about a fourth the space. The camp is encircled by pine trees, except for a small break where we drove in. I can feel them dripping humidity down even on us every time there's a breeze. Some of the branches are hanging precariously low over the fire pit. It probably won't be an issue unless we're particularly reckless. Okay, yeah, who am I kidding? You can put the chair next to that log over there. Isa nods to a fallen log, laying perpendicular to the van. Oh, gotcha. I get a closer look at the log before I pull the chair out of the back. It's definitely been used as a seat before, but its current condition, it would probably crumble under my weight. It looks ancient. It's not a stretch to say it's been through more than the rock behind the van. I can make out what looks like a name carved into it. It's either that or crude profanity. While I unfold the chair, Isa brings the second one from Cole and pulls it out next to mine. Hey, does it look right to you? I show Isa the right leg of the chair. There's a cross-section for support that doesn't quite look attached. No. No, it does not. She looks at hers, and it has the same defect. Hey, Cole, I think these chairs are busted. Damn. Really? He peeks over from whatever he's doing in the back of the van. Issa lifts the chair and waves around the broken piece. Alright. We'll just leave him then. I can fix it in a bit. If you say so. I hear a bird, which prompts me to look up. I don't catch sight of it, but I do notice how dark the sky has gotten. The sun highlights the clouds with a light orange while it ducks behind the mountain. I might appreciate the sunset more if I wasn't so aware that the color is the result of pollution. Oh yeah, I think I remember hearing something like that. I look back at the van and see that Cole has rearranged some of the clutter. Among the bags he's moved, I see a black backpack. That reminds me, my phone is about to die. Hey, is it alright if I plug my phone in? It's been clinging to life for the past few hours. Of course, hold on. He does a little jog to the front of the van while I make my way over. It's kind of cute. I swear I can read. He takes his phone off its charger and leaves it on the dash, then holds his hand out for mine. Thanks. Is yours full? No, but it's still got a good 20 left. And it's not like we need to use it anytime soon. Why is it that none of your guys' phones are charged? Seriously. I have another charging cable in my backpack. That should help. Nah, the cooler takes the other charging port, so we can only plug when at. Oh my god. Both me and Cole dart around the van. I'm mentally prepared for a giant spider or a dead animal. Is this a hammock? Cole, chest heaves out a sigh when he sees it. She holds out a blue-orange fabric with rope mesh attached to either end. Each mesh has a metal hook connecting to the black strap. Oh, yeah, I forgot to pack that. Or I forgot to pack that. I'm gonna hang it up. Her tail is batting her legs with a dull whump. It's nothing she hasn't done before, but I'm reminded how odd it is. I always thought wagging your tail was more of a dog thing, but do foxes do that too? Yeah, I think foxes do that. It could also be an Isa thing. As she's running off with the hammock, Cole goes back to what he was doing. So wait, these guys plug in their ice chest? Huh. Do ice chests have a little air conditioning unit inside them? I mean, I guess these days, maybe. He moves a few more bags and bins out of the way and slides the tent out of the bag pile. Why not put it on top if it's the most important thing to set up? Well, I thought I did, but I couldn't find it. For a second, I thought we might have left it behind. Ideally, we'd have to set it up by now. I was hoping to have it done before it got dim, but damn traffic. He's trying not to get frustrated. It do be like that. I think about giving him some reassuring words, but he probably doesn't want to dwell on it. Even with my limited camping experience, I know that tents are a hassle, especially in the dark. And personally, not really, but I mean, my tent was easy. I've heard low light conditions are fuzzy for most people, but I've always been seen clearer in them. Not as well as most nocturnal animals, though. Definitely not as well as Isa, who was able to read her textbooks in the middle of the night. Apparently, it was a huge perk for a former roommate. Cole grabs the wrapped-up tent and hauls it over to his corner. Is she gonna be okay over there? She's Isa. She'll manage. You can grab the bag of tent poles and bring them to the tarp. Or tarp? I guess I can't read today. I was like, I'm gonna do this and then start other Let's Plays, and then I'm like, maybe I don't have this ability. He gestures with his free hand to her similarly styled bag at the edge of the van's trunk. Yep, got it. I slide the bag of poles out of the van and follow Cole. He is tying the hammock up between two trees at the edge of the clearing. I can faintly hear her humming something. It sounds like she's completely missing the tones, as usual. Her confidence is staggering, though. I've never heard someone karaoke quite as hard as her whilst being so bad at it. It's sort of inspiring after she stopped. Cole slides the tent out of the bag and folds it over the tarp. I lay the poles out on the ground next to him. We both hear a thud in Isa's direction and look over. The hammock has fallen onto the ground on one side. Taking Isa with it, she fell on the fabric instead of the ground, so at least she's not wet. Whoa, are you okay? What happened? Yeah, the hammock just totally fell under me. I really hope I didn't get a concussion. I see her wince as she rubs the back of her head. I rub my own head, still sore from earlier. I was right about the dang headache. Hey, now we match. She looks at me disapprovingly. I thought it was only fair. She bends down and picks up a metal hook from the ground. It's bent with a W shape. Feels more like an L to be honest. Autosaved again. The little drum set goes off in my head. I guess visual novels do have autosaves now that I think about it, because there's like Q and A and then all those numbers. Damn, sorry. I forgot that happened last time I went camping. It's alright. I should have known you're the last one to use this. Isa's chest falls as she sighs. She cocks her head slightly to the left, raising her right ear to the woods. I think I can hear running water. Cole and I exchange glances. I try to listen for the wet pattering of the river, but I can't hear anything over rustling branches or chirping birds. Well, you and Cole have round ears, but she has big, pointy ears. The river isn't far from here. Do you two want to take a look? Fuck yeah. Why didn't you say so sooner? Let me go grab my camera. You can take your leftovers, Max. I know you didn't want to finish eating earlier. All right. You'll be okay setting up the tent by yourself? I'll be fine. I've set up more tents than there are miles in a kilometer. Less than one? He winks at me. I put my mouth to correct him, but Isa's already on the move. Never a moment of rest with her. She grabs her camera bag from her seat, and I grabbed the rolled up paper bag with my leftover chicken patty. What direction is it? That away. Wait, I thought she would know because she could hear. Cole points to a little past where Isa set up the now collapsed hammock. Is it alright to leave there? I guess we can put it away later. Leave it there. I swear I can read. The sound of Cole snapping tent poles together mixes with the crunching of leaves and crackling branches beneath our feet. There's not really a trail to get there, so it's an awkward trek through the brush. Isa somehow manages to find a path that's relatively free of obstacles, so I just follow her lead. She always seems to get where she wants, regardless of the direction she's walking. It's a bit strange, honestly, but I guess with enough vindication, you can make any location the desired location. Her tail is still swishing behind her. It's really sort of odd. Again, seems like more of a dog thing, but could it be all canines? Although, I don't think I've ever seen a fox other than Isa wag her tail. Their tail. Certainly not Claire, and I can't remember Evan doing it either, despite his annoyingly upbeat attitude. Not that I'm one to judge. I get weird looks constantly when I wag my tail, especially recently. Though I don't blame him. It's not easy to tell I'm part dog just based on glance. Hey, Isa? What's up, Max? Why do you wag your tail like that? Just feels right, you know? Huh, I guess so. I don't really think about it, except when other people mention it. I don't think about it either. It's just a habit. Why do you ask? I just haven't seen any other foxes do it. It's always kind of stuck out to me. Though, it might be rude to ask. Gonna flip around. She pivots to me, or stops and pivots. Yeah, people ask me all the time. Even my parents did. Well, do. Not many Canadians, though. I think our culture is more rooted in politeness. I've always been told not to bring up stuff like that. Okay, so is she Canadian and the other two characters are American? So you haven't always done it? I don't think so. I don't remember when exactly I started doing it, but I think I remember some of my friends did it, and I thought it was cute. Lisa does have a lot of friends who are other canines, especially dogs. That's another thing I haven't really thought about. But now that mention is being brought to it. That's a weird way of saying that. Did Stella wag her tail a lot when you were younger? Her demeanor changes instantly. I only met Stella one time, and she never wagged her tail, even once. It was so prominent that it was off-putting. If I were her, I'd be worried about straining something. That she didn't wag her tail? Yeah, she did. Something's bothering her, and I'd like to know what, but I feel it would be rude to inquire any further, at least for now. Our ears perk in unison at the sound of running water. It's louder now that we're closer and has stopped making so much noise. Isa's mouth curls into a wicked grin. Isa, don't you dare. You're asthmatic, and I know you don't have your inhaler. And she's off. God fucking damn it. Hey, hold on. There we go. Animation. I am unable to keep up with the fox as she bounds down the pathway. Kind of feel like this would be a place to stop, but let's go a little further until we at least look at the river. My sloppy jog is far slower than her, but an orange blur never leaves my sight. I think she's actually holding herself back. I've seen Isa run far faster than this in the past, though usually not when she's making me chase her. Come on, you can go faster than that. I've seen it. She bounces around to face me, her face covered in a giant smile. God, the way she runs seems effortless. Even when she twisted around to face me, she was able to glide along the path ahead of me. I'm rusty. She's like a freaking bouncy ball. How the hell is she able to move like that? I think she already knows where every route is, and uses them as steps to bound off. The growing sound of rushing water begins to flood my ears. Isa must have noticed as well, and takes off into the brush. I'm a bit worried she's going to jump right off route into the river. Who knows how much of a buffer there is between the trees and the water. When I finally emerge from the tree line, Isa's ankles already submerged in the rushing water. Her shoes are perched on a rock next to the riverbank, a few steps from the tree line. I'm panting heavily, but Isa seems totally unfazed. Next time you do that, I'm not following you. The rush of blood in my head from running causing my headache to swell. I really should have taken some ibuprofen when I had the chance. The river is wider than expected, but very shallow. There's about 2 meters of riverbank leading up to the river. The river has a slight curve to it, extending out far out in view. Its surface reflects the faint orangey turquoise of the evening sky. It's even prettier than before. And it can't escape me this time. And I think with that, and it's getting close to time, we're gonna call it. Seems like a cute little game, and I do like the animation. Granted, the only animation I've seen is, you know, the little guy running through the woods. Not sure how far this game is. There's like 2 chapters, like there's prologue, chapter 1, and chapter 2. I wonder what prologue is. Huh, not sure. But that's gonna be the end of this quick look. So again, if you want me to do a let's play of this game, tell me, and I'll put it on the list, which will put it, I'll give it a point, which will put it up higher on the list, which means that I will do it sooner. Granted, sooner will probably be months from now, you know, or maybe years. It depends on like when. And if you want to play this game, it's available free on HalexUwU. Don't think they have a Patreon, and if you want to suggest any other game, then tell me, and I'll add it to the quick look list. But let's see what we're going to do next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I guess I could remember how many numbers I did. So 999. Cool. And then 13. What is the one we're going to do? Number 5. Number 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Furry Bejeweled. Okay, now we got 4. Which means it's Sex in the Furry Titty 2. Which I have on Steam somewhere. Let's do that. Sex and the Furry Titty. Okay, her teeth there look absolutely scary. But we'll start this game, so we can at least put it on now, so I won't have to be like, what are we doing? I completely forgot. Let's turn that off so that we can switch it to that. There we go. It's initializing. Oop, wrong one. There we go. Sex in the Furry Titty. Is this the first one? Are there 3 of them? Because I remember doing one of these. Right? Now I'm gonna have to look it up. Sorry. Oh, it's not this one. Okay. My bad. It's do. Because, like, this looks familiar. Also, that character looked familiar. Oh, we have to turn this one off. Sorry. Sorry, cute fox girl. Do. I'm going to full screen it. Bah. That's and full screen. Do. There we go. Sex in the Furry Titty 2. Is it Furry Titty? Yeah. So, yeah. That's gonna be what we're gonna be doing next week. I'm gonna have to censor so much shit. But hey, on the bright side, it's gonna be a lot less talking. Hyena. Anyways, I'm gonna actually look at the story so I can pick up which one I want. You know? Anyways, that's it. Thanks and see ya.